Deaddrawgaming. Like no one ever was.
What's up, Deaddrawers? This is Kris from Team DDG, and I'm here with episode 1 of my beginner series, where I answer questions or concerns from new or returning players. This episode's question comes from our Discord chat, which if you guys would like to be part of, is available to all Twitch subs as well as patrons. The question goes something like this. It's my first major competitive event. What do I bring? What should I expect? Awesome question. Let's jump into it.
So I've compiled a list of questions that if you're able to answer all of these correctly, you should be good as gold going into your first event. So first of all, what kind of event is this? So is it a League Cup? Is it a League Challenge? Is it a Regional? Is it Intercontinental? And the second question you need to ask is, do I need to pre-register? Third question, is the event standard or expanded format? Fourth, when and where is the event? Fifth, what should I bring? And sixth, what are my goals? Right off the bat, here's some good resources to hit up to answer most of these questions for you. You can head over to Pokemon.com, use their Find an Event locator, get tons of great information depending on the dates and the region and the area. Facebook, a lot of times tournaments have their own Facebook events, which will tell you a lot of information on them. Sometimes there's a Twitter page, sometimes there isn't. And then lastly, just word of mouth. Answering your first question right off the bat, what kind of event is this? So I've grouped them into two different groupings at the local events. This consists of your League Cups and League Challenges. And what to expect from these? So they can be from anywhere from 8 to 200 players depending on the venue. But most places are usually around 30, dependent on the amount of people that they can have in the building, because it's usually held in local game and hobby stores. You should usually expect 3 to 10 rounds of Swiss with the top cup single elimination. Pricing can be anywhere from being free to $20. I've heard of it being more, but that you shouldn't expect any more than that on a regular basis. Going into the second genre, we've got regionals and intercontinentals. So these are the major events, usually for money. And you should expect to have around 400 to 1,000 plus Masters players just in that division alone. So much larger scale than League Cups and League Challenges. 9 rounds of Swiss with top cut playing on the second day. 5 to 6 rounds of Swiss on that second day with single elimination top 8. The price range usually starts around $40 to $60 with VIP packages where they'll have separate tables for you to sit at. Sometimes they'll have extra swag, plane tickets, and these can go up exponentially depending on what's included in these VIP packages. These are usually held in large-scale venues, not just smaller card shops. And there is also vendors where you can pick up singles, packs, and other fun things as well. So registration, do you need to pre-register? Answering the second question. League Cups and League Challenges are usually on a first come first served basis, so showing up early is important. But sometimes there is pre-registration, so go ahead and ask the store ahead of time that whether or not they are taking pre-registrations, just to make sure that you don't miss that cap of players and you to make it so you don't get to play. Regionals and ICs, they're usually online. You almost always have to pre-register. Very few places are doing any registrations at the door. Sometimes that is possible if there's room. And they also go up in price as the window gets closer to the actual event. So registering early is important if you want to save money. And right off the bat, you should know your division and your player ID. The division is your age group. You can find that on Pokemon.com, as well as on deck list sheets. And also knowing your Pop ID, you can make your own on Pokemon.com, or you can also attend a local event first, and they will give you your own Pop ID as well. On to the next question. Knowing whether or not it's standard or expanded. Don't want to walk into a tournament with the wrong formatted deck and not get to play. So standard, just a quick clarification, the decks are usually made with the most recent sets back to a certain point determined by Pokemon each year. This is a lot easier for newer players to invest into because you will be able to get the most value out of each card since it'll stay in a format that much longer. But it is also a smaller card pool. Expanded, combination of newer cards, all the new cards in the standard format as well as older ones, with a small ban list that is also determined by Pokemon. It's a very large card pool, which means you also have to learn a lot of different cards, and buying into expanded is not always cost efficient, since the cards a lot of the older ones are set to be rotated out and won't see any play after that. Knowing your when and where. So know when you're supposed to be at the venue checked in. Most of the time it's pretty early, 8:30. Get there a little early because you don't know if there's going to be a line. You don't know if you're going to be stuck outside in the cold. Just get there. Better to be prepared than not. Maybe you're missing a card, you can go and get some vendors, go shop at the venue, pick up a card that you're missing for a deck, you want to get a feel for the tournament, meet some people. Know how to get to the venue ahead of time as well, and know whether there's parking. Sometimes there's paid parking, sometimes there's limited parking. Just getting there early just can save you a lot of hassle and not force you to be late for your first round, which could end up being a loss. You don't want to be that person that ends up taking the round 1 loss because you had a hard time finding the venue or you just slept in. Carpooling is also a great idea. So hopping into the big one, what to bring. Obviously your 60 card deck, but I also would say this includes sleeves just to protect your cards, as well as making it so you are less likely to get called out for a marked card. Cards do get damaged on the corners, and this will just keep them in good condition, as well as just making it harder for someone to say, oh, you're marking your cards. The cards that are the sleeves that are legal for tournament play are official Pokemon sleeves, or solid color backs of sleeves. Dragon Shield, Ultra Pro, all have great ones. But this does not include your unofficial Pokemon sleeves with graphics on the back. So yes, that does mean that it doesn't matter how cool your Zelda sleeves look, they are not legal for tournament play. This also includes your deck box, keeps your cards in order. Make sure you don't have any extra cards in the thing, but you are allowed extra sleeves just in case some tear. Keeps your cards in order. Make sure you don't lose those and keeps them in good condition. Right off the bat, deck lists. Know whether or not your event you're going to needs online or physical copies of your deck list. A lot of events are switching to online deck lists, which will automatically tell you if it's legal or not for tournament play. But a lot of places still take physical paper copies of your deck lists. This can be written on just about anything as long as it's legible. But just to make play safe, go ahead and print out a copy from Pokemon.com. And this will give you the set symbols as well as what you need for all your Pokemon. Make sure the deck list matches your deck. It's the #1 way to prevent from taking penalties. Dice, coins, and counters. So please try and have your own dice. These are included in ETBs. You can pick them up at your local gaming store. These are important to use for your damage counters. And you can't always be reliant on your opponent's dice. These can also be used as a replacement for an official PTCG coin for flipping heads or tails. The dice does have to be clear though, to make it legal for flipping as a coin. Have your GX counter available, as well as status condition counters. If you're playing a deck that inflicts either poison or burn or both, it is your responsibility to have specific counters for these two status conditions. Also bring something to carry it in, so you're not just carrying around loose dice that'll just fly everywhere. I personally use a string bag. You can some deck boxes have little compartments for dice as well. Just be creative. Have something to carry all this stuff in conveniently from table to table and to not lose them. Extra pro tip: bring a watch. It is not legal to have your phone on the table during a match, so just have a watch if you want to keep track of time. Make sure you're keeping a good pace of play. Play mats, they are optional, but they do keep your cards from touching the table, which who knows what's on them. It's also a good way to express yourself. They just can't have any bad language on them or obscene pictures, but anything else is fine. Food and drink. You might not think about it, but you do burn a lot of calories. You do sweat a lot. It's a long day of playing Pokemon, so go ahead and bring a water bottle, bring some snacks. Sometimes larger events have lunch breaks, so have a plan to go and get food in between. Make sure to eat your breakfast. That's a great way to not starve all day, and have a little extra cash just in case you need to buy some snacks. And of course, go ahead and bring a bag just to carry all this stuff in. Less is more. I just bring a pretty standard string bag, but you can of course upgrade to a larger bag. Just try not to take up too much space. Something easy that can go underneath your seat, can stay on your seat, something you keep between your legs. Yeah, so less is more. Keep it small, less so it takes up less room, but you can still carry all your stuff together. A few extra tips for stuff to bring. Right off the bat, deodorant. I bring deodorant with me throughout the tournament and reapply it throughout, like on the hour. You do sweat a lot. It does get hot. It does not smell the greatest when everyone isn't wearing deodorant. So it's just be polite. Have some deodorant on you. Reapply it throughout the day. It's not a big deal. Second, some hand sanitizer. Not that I don't trust the person I'm playing against and shake hands with, but it's just to not get sick, right? There's lots of people touching things, and you just want to stay healthy. Third and lastly is gum. Great way to make friends is offering up people other gum. Sometimes you eat something that makes your breath kind of stink a little bit. Gum's great. It's great at relaxing, and keeps the mouth fresh to the day. So lastly, let's talk about goals. So be realistic while also challenging yourself. Don't expect going into your first tournament you're going to win the entire thing, but also don't sell yourself short thinking that you're going to take last by losing every single round. And second, have a backup plan. I know a lot of people that they don't book their flight until Monday on a weekend of a regional because they expect to day 2, but then when they don't, then they kind of wish they would have gotten an earlier flight. Just have backup plans for major events as well as local events. What happens if things don't exactly go as planned, or let's say you weren't even expecting to make day 2, and you do. So have some kind of backup plan just in case something doesn't exactly go as planned. And third, try and finish out the day if you can. I know when you're 0-3, it doesn't sound very fun to keep playing all day, but that's how you get better. That's how you train your brain to last an entire day of critical thinking. Play out the matches. Your opponents will thank you if you end up making a comeback and doing well. Your earlier opponents will thank you for raising their resistance. And you're going for fun, so if you can finish it out, I would definitely suggest it. A few extra bonus tips. Introduce yourself going into every round. Be friendly. Be humble, win or lose. No one wants to play the person that gets upset after losing, or the person that rubs it in the face every time they win. Keep track of your pace. I know, even if it's your first tournament, understand that you are expected to have a certain pace of play in a competitive setting, especially for money, such as regionals or intercontinentals. So do your best to play at the fastest pace that you can without making too many mistakes. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask a judge, no matter what it is. And finally, have fun.
That just about wraps it up here, guys. So remember, if you want to see more videos just like this one, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, head over to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, give us likes. It's all greatly appreciated. Head over to Deaddrawgaming.com for all your Pokemon TCG needs. And go ahead and leave in the comment section below your favorite tip for new players in their first tournament. But until then, I'll see you guys next time.